Okay, if you're a dog owner, you know this feeling, right? The jumping, the nudging, the pulling. And what's our first instinct? We use our hands to push them off, pull them back, correct them. But what if I told you that very instinct, that natural reaction, is actually making everything worse? Well, today we're going to dive into a super simple but seriously powerful solution that can change all of that.
So let me just ask you something, and be honest. Think about your day. How many times do you use your hands to manage your dog? Pushing them off the couch, nudging them away from the door, pulling that leash back. It feels totally normal, but we really need to stop and ask, are our hands building trust, or are they actually causing a problem?
And this right here, this is what it often looks like. You see, what feels like simple management to us can feel like constant, kind of unpredictable physical pressure to our dogs. So instead of creating a calm, orderly house, this whole hands-on approach can kick off a cycle of chaos, confusion, and, a lot of anxiety for everyone involved.
All right, so let's really break this down. Let's get to the bottom of why this is such a big deal. We're going to look at what we're calling the hands-on problem and really understand why our go-to method of pushing and pulling is actually a major source of stress for our dogs.
And this is the absolute heart of the issue. When a dog is constantly being pushed, pulled, and nudged, they learn to expect it. They're always anticipating it. So instead of listening to your voice or reading your body language, their brain is just locked on one thing, bracing for that next physical contact. They literally stop listening and start defending themselves.
So, how do we fix this? Well, it starts with a total shift in how we think. We have to stop thinking like humans for a second and really try to start thinking like a dog. If we can understand their world and how they see our actions, we can find a much better way to communicate.
Okay, first things first, the pack perspective. And this is so crucial. Your dog, believe it or not, doesn't see you as a human owner. Nope. In their mind, you're just a very tall, kind of weird-looking member of their pack. And so they communicate with you using the exact same social rules they'd use with other dogs. Because, well, that's the only language they speak.
So how do we speak that language? We use what are called emotional markers. It's a beautifully simple system, really. It's binary. Think of it like a light switch. It's either yes or no. A warm, happy marker like the word good tells them, yes, that's it, do more of that. And a sharp but not angry marker like hey simply means nope, stop that. It's just a clean, clear interruption. And you can literally see the result of your communication in your dog's body. I mean, look at these two. On the left, you've got a tense, assertive dog. Ears are forward, body's leaning in, totally ready for conflict. And on the right, a calm, relaxed dog. It's your energy and your communication style, physical pressure versus clear emotional markers that directly determines which one of these dogs shows up in your living room.
Okay, so we get the problem, we get the mindset. So what's the solution? It's a total game changer, and it's called the no hands rule. We're going to learn to put our hands away and start using our voice and just our presence to lead.
I want you to really let this quote sink in for a second. If you use your hands to control your dog, they will come to fear hands. That is so powerful, isn't it? We want our hands to be things our dog loves, sources of affection and treats, not something they flinch away from. And that's exactly why this rule is so important.
Let's just put these two approaches side by side. It makes it super clear. On one side, you've got physical management. The result? Anxiety, confusion, and, over time, a real breakdown of trust. And on the other side, verbal guidance, using those emotional markers we just talked about. The result of that? Clarity, confidence, and a deep, lasting trust. I mean, the choice is pretty obvious.
So, what is the no hands rule exactly? It's simple. From now on, your hands have only two jobs: giving affection, like petting and scratches, and maybe some gentle guidance, like pointing the way. They are officially fired from the job of pushing, pulling, or physically managing your dog. That's it. Full stop.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? This is the fun part. We're going to walk through what's called the foundational drill. This is the simple, repeatable exercise that's going to build this new habit for both you and your dog.
But before we even start, there's one non-negotiable rule. You have to begin this training when your dog is in the green zone. What's that? It means they're already calm, they're relaxed, breathing normally. Trying to teach a new skill when your dog is already stressed out is like, well, it's like trying to build a house in a hurricane. It's just not going to work. So you have to set them up for success by starting calm.
Okay, ready? Let's walk through this drill step by step. First, start in a calm place when your dog's already relaxed.
And number 2 goes right with it. Just stand there, totally neutral. Relax your hands at your sides, no tension. Okay, now for the action. Step 3. The moment your dog does something you don't want, like jumping on you, use a short, sharp, "Hey," to interrupt. That's it. Step 4 happens immediately. The second they make a better choice, even if they just pause for a second, you mark it with a warm, encouraging good. Now, step 5. If they're really pushy, you can just step into their space a little bit. Your presence is the boundary. Still no hands. Then, step 6. After you've done this a few times and things are calm, you can invite them in for some affection. And finally, and this is so important, step 7, end the whole exercise the instant your dog settles down. That way, they learn that being calm is the goal. It's what gets them the good stuff.
So you do this, you stay consistent with this drill, and the payoff? Oh, it is huge. You're not just stopping one bad behavior. You're actually building an entirely new way of communicating with your dog, one that's based on calm, confident leadership, not physical force.
So what does that actually get you in real life? Well, for one, it means way less anxiety for your dog because they're not always waiting for you to push them around. It keeps their stress level down in that nice green zone. It builds real, deep trust in you as their leader. It helps them learn how to calm themselves down and settle much faster. And at the end of the day, it creates that clear, calm communication we've all been searching for.
And that kind of brings us to a really interesting final thought, doesn't it? As you start taking your hands out of the equation and learning to use your voice and your presence instead, you have to start managing your own reactions, your own emotions. You become calmer, clearer, more consistent. So it really makes you wonder, who's really training who here? Something to chew on.